Hello and welcome back to the Wheel Talk podcast. My name is Abby Mickey and I'm here to talk about women's professional road cycling. Although today I'm very excited to hand the mic over to Matt de Neef, who's going to highlight one of Australia's up-and-coming talents. So why wait? Here's Matt.
Followers of Australian cycling have known about Talia Appleton's potential for a few years now. The 20-year-old has been a consistent performer on the domestic stage, and in recent years she's represented Australia at World Championships and the Tour de l'Avenir. But in 2025, the Victorian attracted the attention of cycling fans around the world. After a great start to the year in Australia's Pro Velo Super League, where she finished second overall, won a Tour and 2 stages, Appleton rode to an amazing third overall at the Tour de l'Avenir against World Tour professionals like Isabella Holmgren, Marion Burnell and Laura de Schepper. 9th at the first ever standalone World's Road Race for under 23 women cemented her as a true star of the future. Appleton now has a 2-year contract with the Liverpool-Jaco Continental team, where she'll get the chance to establish herself in Europe and start building a career. I had the pleasure of catching up with Talia recently, not long after she'd flown back home from Europe to her hometown of Mansfield in the Victorian High Country. As you'll hear, we spoke about her breakout season, what she's hoping for as she joins Liverpool-Jaco, and what she'd love to achieve in the sport longer term. If you'd prefer to check out this article in text form, you can find it on the Escape Collective website or via a link in the show notes of today's episode. I hope you enjoy. Just to start with, for those that aren't familiar with your story, can you talk a bit about how you first got into cycling and I guess about your progression from there through to the start of this season?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've kind of always ridden, like my parents both ride and my dad's like super into it. So he kind of always like had me on a bike. I actually started through like mountain bike racing, like when I was, like 8, I guess. Just like local stuff. Just like good fun messing around with your mates, I guess. And then I got my first road bike for my 10th birthday. My older brother also got his first road bike. It was his 10th birthday, so I was like expecting a road bike for my 10th birthday. And then, I just started doing like local club stuff. We've got like a club handicap race on a Thursday night in Mansfield with the Mansfield Mount Buller Cycling Club. So I started doing that and I was like limit rider, would start like minutes before, like everyone else. Mm-hmm. And they're only like short races, only like 20k. And then I guess I got into doing like actual proper junior racing when I was about 12. So I would do like the junior tours, like the Victorian series, which was like run through winter actually. So it's like not really great when you're in Victoria. I just remember a lot of like freezing cold mornings racing, but no, it was really good. And then I guess just from there I've just like started like doing like national level racing and then NRS racing through to now, I guess.
Was there a point along the way where you thought, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this and I could have a good go at becoming professional somewhere along the way?
I did a lot of other sports when I was growing up. Like, I did swimming pretty seriously. And I think maybe when I stopped swimming when I was about 14 and just started, focusing on cycling when I was, 14, 15, I guess. So I think maybe then I like really knew that I loved riding and I wanted to, really focus on cycling and, keep progressing and stuff.
Yeah. The Pro Velo Super League was a big part of your early season, and obviously you started that perfectly with that stage win on Wollonga. Can you talk a bit about the build-up to that and how much you prepared for that SA Kick-It round of the series and what that day was like on Wollonga?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that hopefully like that round, that Wollonga TT suited me, but I mean, it was a big unknown. Like we hadn't really, it was still really super early in the season. We'd only done nationals. So I still felt like I hadn't really like raced that much yet. Didn't really like know how it would go. So honestly just like went out there. I had a pretty crazy like pacing strategy actually. So just like went super hard and then the power just like didn't really drop that much in the end. So it was good. yeah, I was a bit surprised by it actually. I mean, obviously the time gaps are still super close, but yeah, I was pretty happy with that ride.
What's it like racing on a climb as iconic as that?
Yeah, it's really fun. I did it like the year before during TDU, but I'd been like dropped in the crosswinds beforehand, and yeah, I just like suffered up this climb, and it was horrible. So it was good to have like good memories of it from this year.
And then you went on to win that round overall. But how big a focus was the Pro Velo Super League overall this season?
Yeah, it was a super big focus for me. I was definitely, yeah, like everyone knows that I was targeting the overall win because there was the guaranteed contract on offer. And like, look, I came, yeah, pretty close, but in the end, I just, how it unfolds sometimes. So that was all right. But yeah, it was like, I was a bit disappointed initially afterwards, but yeah, then I guess I just refocused for the rest of the season.
Yeah, going into that final round in Queensland, there was that I think it was you and Sophie Marat, vying for the one contract both on the same team. What was that like inside the team going into it? Like, how was management handling that, and how were the two of you guys handling it, given that you're sort of battling against each other, even though you're teammates?
It was fine. I mean, Sophie and I are good friends, and Andrew Christie Johnson, yeah, really had the situation managed really well. Yeah, we didn't have to, technically like work for each other. I mean, obviously we're still teammates, we're still in the same colours. So, we can't like race each other like directly, I guess. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he managed the situation really well. And yeah, in the end it was a super positive outcome for the team. We won the overall team classification, and then yeah, Sophie won the overall series. So yeah, it was good.
And then you both end up getting a contract with the same team anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how did that contract all come about? I think that was later in the year that all came about, right?
It was later in the year, but it was actually still pretty early in the year. It was before I'd gone to Europe and before I'd raced Lavinia and Worlds. So yeah, I was just sort of in contact with the team off the back of my Pro Velo results and also some of the gravel results that I had. So it kind of, yeah, all came about from, yeah, the earlier part of the season.
Tell me about these gravel races you did, because I think it was April and May. You did 3 races, second at Nationals, 1 Devil's Cardigan, and then third at 7. That's a great little group of races there. You mentioned mountain biking at the start there. Is gravel racing something that you've done a bit of in the past few years and this just seemed like a good opportunity, or did it just kind of come up, or how did that all unfold?
Yeah, so I did a couple of gravel races last year and I, yeah, really enjoyed it. And then I guess just with like a lack of racing in Australia, and I didn't have like anything sorted in Europe, like in terms of like a race program or anything in the earlier like part of the season, I guess through like April, May, June. So yeah, I just decided to do a little block of gravel racing, which was, yeah, just, it's super good fun. I mean, gravel is just like a really good time. And yeah, it's just like really honest racing, and you just, you're going to have a hard race. And I think that suits me pretty well. So yeah, it was nice to get those, yeah, results through that.
Did you surprise yourself a little bit with those races?
Yeah, I think so. I think at Nationals with Tiff and Beck Henderson, it was pretty cool. And yeah, it's just like good exposure to be standing on a podium next to riders like that.
Mm.
Yeah, which was also like what I was looking to do with with doing those gravel races. Yeah.
Yeah. Is gravel something you think you'll do more of in the future? I mean, you've got this pro contract for next year and the year after as well. How do you think you'll balance gravel stuff with road, or will that take a back seat, or how do you see that?
Probably, yeah, definitely take a back seat. I mean, I want to go all in on the road for sure and have like a long road career, I guess, and then maybe gravel like everyone else does.
Yeah.
But we'll see. No, if there's a chance to do like a gravel race, then yeah, for sure I'll take it. But yeah, no, road definitely takes priority.
You had, I think, 3 months off the bike, or 3 months away from racing between those gravel races and Lavinia. What was that period like? Looked like you had a bit of a chance to step back and relax before building up again?
Yeah, I was able to take a bit of like a mid-season break after the gravel. And then, yeah, I pretty much just did a 3-month training build for Lavinia, which was pretty crazy to go without racing for so long. It's just because I love racing and the feeling that you get from racing. yeah, but at the same time, it meant like I could have a super focused like preparation towards Lavany. And yeah, in the end, I think it worked out pretty well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say that's accurate. Where were you doing that 3-month training block? Did you do some of it here in Australia, some of it in Europe, some of it at altitude, or how did that work?
I did most of it here in Australia. So I went over to Europe 3 weeks before, oh sorry, maybe a month was it before Lavinia. But it meant I did over 2 months of it, here in Mansfield during winter as well. Which probably has like one of the harshest winters in the country, if not the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't ideal, a lot of days, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I got through it all right.
Yeah.
So,
Did you
especially now.
did you have a sense while you were training that you were progressing really nicely? Because as we'll get to, you had some amazing results at Lavinier. Did you have a sense that you were trending in the right direction, or it was a bit of an unknown?
Yeah, it was a bit of an unknown, I think, until I actually got to Europe because then I was like training in Girona, and I love Strava and I put all my rides on Strava and I don't like hide any of the like details. Yeah, I was just like doing my normal training, like my normal efforts, and like getting these Strava comms and like top, fives or whatever on climbs where people had actually like done an effort like to try to get the comm. I was just like getting some of them just from like doing my normal set or whatever. And I was like, oh, like the speed's there. So I mean, like that's good because I think you can always like look at the power and things, but then I mean you look at the actual speed like when you're climbing or whatever. And I think it was like pretty positive. So and then I kind of thought like, oh, it's actually pretty good. I feel like I'm going pretty well.
I'm just looking at the Strava QOM leaderboard for Mount Buller. I know
Yeah,
you're only fifth there.
I know.
Unfortunately, you've got a Olympic gold medalist at the top of the board there.
I know. I need to get that actually.
That'd have to be a goal, wouldn't it, at some point?
Yeah, probably. I'll have to go out to an effort. It's a long one though. I have to ride hard for like 48 or 50 minutes, I think. So
All right, so 211 years. So it feels like that was a real inflection point. I think a period where a lot of people learnt your name for the first time, maybe people around the world that were watching the results there. And third in the prologue and then third and second on the last two stages against established World Tour pros as well, to finish third overall. It's an incredible result. Did you surprise yourself there? And if so, at what point did you realize, oh, actually, I'm really competitive here?
Yeah, I definitely surprised myself. Initially, I kind of just went there targeting that opening prologue. I mean, I guess since it's like the first day, it's like a prologue or whatever, like it's super controlled conditions. You just go off and and being with those gradients as well, it's just, it's a pretty pure, just like power test, I guess. And I knew that kind of, what was it, like 8 or so minutes. It was pretty similar to Wollonga, I guess, in terms of, the duration. So I knew it should suit me pretty well. So I kind of went there targeting that, but I definitely wasn't expecting to actually, come third on that stage. And then be so high up on GC for the next like 4 road stages. And then it was just like a matter of kind of waiting and anticipating that crazy last day with the double day.
Yeah, so that double day was a road stage, an uphill finish as well, and then a time trial as well.
Yeah, so we had a road stage and somehow they fit like 2,000, 300 meters or something of climbing into like 40K stage. We had like to be fair, it was like a neutralized start. So we just like descended all the way down into Italy and then basically just raised back up to where we came from, which was pretty crazy. And then, it was a super short turnaround. We only had like a couple of hours, I think 3 hours maybe in between, like finishing the road stage and then actually like starting your TT. So it was pretty hectic, I guess. Yeah, and then we just finished off with 10K straight up a mountain. Which is obviously super hard, but no, it was good. I mean, I just felt really incredible, I guess, that day. And I was super happy to finish it like that, especially with second on that uphill TT. I think that's probably the result that I was the most proud of actually in the end. Yeah.
Yeah. You've raced for GC at other races, like we talked about the Pro Velo Super League and stuff. But what was it like racing for GC at L'Avenir and racing for your country and all that, the level of competition and the vibes, and how did that compare?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different, I guess, just because of the depth in Europe, like compared to Australia, I guess. I guess it's just different because like L'Avenir is known to be, like a climbing race, whereas in Australia, like we just don't have mountains like that. And we just don't have like climbing races where races where the GC is just like your standard like climbing battle, I guess. So yeah, it was like pretty different.
You said that you were just aiming for that prologue initially. Was the team planning to race for you if that all went well?
Yeah, so we had like a super experienced team at L'Avenir, which was amazing for those 4 like road stages. Definitely kept me out of trouble. Yeah, like helping me in the feeds, and then there was some pretty technical parts. We had a pretty technical finish actually. I think it was stage 3 maybe. And yeah, I had Felicity there for me in the final and Mackenzie there. And then we had Alyssa and Sophie and Ali helping with the feeds and positioning throughout the whole, all those 4 days. So yeah, it was just like really, really nice.
Yeah, that's a great team. I'm curious about your confidence both going into that race and coming out of it, because I think for those of us looking in from the outside, we see that result, 3rd overall L'Avenir, and we go, well, yeah, you should be on track to compete with, World Tour pros in the years to come. Did you come into that race thinking, yeah, I can match it with, the best riders in the world? And did you come out of that race thinking that? Like, how did L'Avenir change things for you, if at all?
Yeah, I think it changed it a lot. I didn't think beforehand that, I could match like World Tour riders, because I had like done quite a few races in the past, either like at World Tour level or just with like a lot of World Tour riders on the start list. Like I did Tour Swiss last year, which was like won by Demi Vollering, and then I'd done TDU and Cadell's a couple of times as well. And yeah, like all of those races was just like honestly survival, and Swiss was more so just like trying to make time cut, to be honest. And I did do L'Avenir last year, but it was the end of the season, and yeah, I was pretty shocking. Yeah, it just didn't go well for me at all. So yeah, I definitely really wasn't expecting it. And then afterwards, I think it was a bit weird to think that like, oh wow, like everyone else like in the top 10 pretty much is at World Tour level, and I was amongst them. So
what do you think's changed in the last year or so? I mean, you mentioned the timing and stuff, but you've obviously taken a step up as well.
Yeah, so I did actually switch over to a new coach after Pro Velo. So I was working with Nick Owen since April this year. So that was like a big change. Yeah, I guess I've just like gradually progressed though. I've been with Praties, which was previously Bridge Lane, for 3 years now. And just every year I think I've just taken a step up, getting more experience, and kind of all just accumulated and kind of ended up where I ended up, I guess.
Yeah. You talked about L'Avenir being a climbers race, and we've also talked about gravel and how you like that sort of racing. I'm curious what sort of rider you see yourself as, because I think we see you as like a great climber, and obviously you time trial really well, but you're also good on the all-rounder type courses that we have at Pro Velo and stuff. So how do you see yourself, and how do you see yourself developing in that way?
I think it's become a lot clearer this year. In particular, I think just as I've gotten older, I've kind of figured out like what I want to do and what sort of rider I kind of want to try to develop into. Yeah, I was definitely would say more an all-rounder during Pro Velo, but that's, I guess, because you sort of needed to be with, you kind of look at how the points are scored. Yeah, like there's a lot of sprint stages and then also climbing rounds. So I was definitely trying to be more of a like all-rounded rider and able to compete like still for the points in crits and things, as well as the hilly rounds. I think gravel's nice just because it's pretty hard all day, and I think like attritional racing suits me pretty well. Races where like the fatigue just builds up throughout the day. But then I mean, like looking at L'Avenir, I guess yeah, it's just going to be some super hard mountain stages, which are going to decide the GC. So yeah, I think I really, tried to, focus more on my climbing. I've always loved climbing, especially growing up in Mansfield, and having like Bula on the back doorstep, I guess. But yeah, I think I, definitely focused more, and I've put a lot more focus on trying to, develop into a GC rider, hopefully.
So Worlds, you weren't selected initially for the Australian team for that, I believe. Can you tell me how did that feel, and how did it come to be that you ended up getting a spot and getting to Rwanda?
Yeah, so Lavany wasn't within the selection period, which was used for the World selection. So I actually found out that I'd missed the selection for Worlds before I went to Lavania. Yeah, it was obviously super disappointing at the time, but it was also somewhat understandable because I hadn't raced, I hadn't been racing in Europe throughout like the rest of the season. So I didn't actually have the results, which could get me selected for Worlds. Yeah, I guess it just made me super motivated for Lavania to try to like land a result there. And then I always thought like, oh, who knows? I knew there were free spots left in the under 23 team. But yeah, I just went to Lavania just focusing on that 100%. And then afterwards I was like, all right, now maybe I can push to try to get Worlds selection, because obviously the course there I knew would suit me really well. And I was just really lucky and grateful that Oz Cycling like recognized that.
And you ended up having to crowdfund your way to get there though?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of expenses involved in like traveling to Africa. But yeah, I mean, I know that I have like a lot of people who want to support me. Yeah, I ended up like raising all the money for that within a week. So it was really incredible to have like the support of the community, and all my like family and friends and, outsiders and people who I've never met before, just like donating me money. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's great. How do you reflect on the Rwanda experience, not just the race itself, but racing in Africa and Rwanda and the crowds and all that?
Yeah, it was really cool. I didn't know what to expect, but I was super excited to go to Africa just because, I've never been before and just unlock a new continent, I guess. And but I guess it was an unknown of like what it was going to be like. But it was a really incredible experience. The people there were amazing and the atmosphere was really nice and everyone got behind the event. And the crowds were also really special. Yeah, definitely like some of the biggest crowds that I've seen at one of my races. The whole experience was really nice. Yeah,
and then you finish up top 10. Had you expected that? Was that better than you expected?
Look, I knew that the race would end up suiting me pretty well, and I was hoping for like a big result, I guess, but to actually be within the top 10, I was obviously happy with it. And
it sounds like you maybe wanted a bit more than 9th.
Yeah, well, look, like, I mean, I had every chance, I guess. I mean, that was nice as well. I guess I had actually been dropped on that climb before you get to the final cobbled climb. But then it had all just come back together, like, right as we hit this final cobbled climb. So I guess I had, like, every chance. But I guess I just didn't have the legs in the end in the final there. Which is, like, a little disappointing. Yeah, to know that, like, I was there and that, I mean, I had the chance, so in the end, I just like didn't have it in me. That's right. Yeah,
I'm sure you learned plenty from it, and you'll grow from there. So I think you've got 2 years now with Liverpool Jaco, the Continental team. What's the plan there? What are they expecting from you, and what are you expecting from yourself over the next 2 years?
Yeah, hopefully I can just get a lot of experience. I've never done a full season in Europe before, because obviously I didn't really do a lot of European racing this year, and then last year I did 4 months in Europe. So I think just like doing a big variety of racing and getting experience and just like really developing as a rider and as a person and settling into life in Europe. Yeah, especially next year. So, and it's really nice to be like within an Australian team doing that. And like I know a lot of my teammates really well. So it'll be nice. Yeah.
Are you going to go back to Girona and set up a base there?
Yeah, I'll be based in Girona, which I'm really looking forward to because I really like it there. So I'm really looking forward to getting back over there.
That's great. And bigger picture in the sport, do you have particular goals that you want to achieve, particular races that you think, oh, I'd love to win that one day, or are you just taking it more as a kind of see how it comes kind of thing?
No, I definitely have races that I've always like. I mean, obviously you want to win the tour. Yeah, I think every like little kid looks at the tour and thinks they want to win that. And then, I mean, now that there is a women's tour, it's like super exciting. I think, if you could like win yellow, that's epic. And then, I mean, also like winning a world championships would be insane. I've always wanted to win Flesh Falloon, actually. I don't know why. I just think like that finish is just so brutal. It just looks like absolute hell. It's just like a crawl, like honestly, just like a crawl up to the line. And I think winning that would be crazy as well. I don't know why. I've always looked at that.
I think it'd suit you pretty well. What's next for you more immediately? Are you going to be racing the Aussie summer races and you've got some time off now before building up for that, or what are you planning?
So I've just started training again just this week, actually, because I had time off since Worlds. So just building now towards nationals and some other races in the Aussie summer. And then looking to head over to Europe in pretty early February. And then just kick off the season there. Not really sure what my kind of season calendar is going to look like yet, but I mean, it'll just be good to be doing a whole year of racing after not that much this year.
And just finally, what's something away from cycling that's got you excited at the moment?
Oh, look, I don't know. No, I'm really happy to come home and see my dog again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really miss her when I'm in Europe. And also my parents have pretty much just finished building a house. So it's been in the works for a while and it's nearly finished. So I'm really excited for it to be finished in, I don't know, fresh house. It's always nice, I guess.
In Mansfield as well?
Yeah.
Nice one. How do you think you'll go with the being away from friends and family for a good chunk of the year next year?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be different. Like, it's obviously different being on the other side of the world and having like the time difference as well. You always just like think you just can like call them and then it's like doesn't actually work out like that. But I mean, it'll be alright. I think being in Girona, it's a massive bonus, like being in Girona, because there's so many other Aussies there and there's so many of your friends there. I think if you were anywhere else, you could like definitely feel a bit isolated. It'll obviously be different and something to get used to. Like having such a long period away from home. But I mean, I love the sport and I guess it's what you have to do. So it's all worth it in the end.
Thanks so much for listening to the Wheel Talk podcast. I am really excited about next week's episode. Lauren and I sat down with Natasha Knaven-Denuden to talk about women's professional road cycling development, her team, and the plans that she wants to see implemented in women's cycling in the future. It was such an incredible conversation. I can't wait for everyone to hear it. A huge thank you to Matt de Neef for taking the time to talk to Talia. Don't forget to read Matt's written piece from today's conversation. It's linked in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening to the Wheel Talk podcast.
This episode was produced, edited, and mixed by Will Jones at Red Bricks Media.